welcome. I just got into, thank you. I just got into Watercolor, Florida, Alan Mitchell. And I'm excited here because I got me a new office in Watercolor, Florida, and that allowed me to, I've got 3 kids back at the house. So I said, I got to get me an office so I can go into the office. Hard to do business when you got the 3 youngins running around. And so I'm in a brand new office today. I literally just got in just a few minutes ago, and I'm excited about this webinar. And before we get started, we have some coaches on here. Some of our team coaches are on here. So if you'll raise your hand and raise your digital hand if you're on Coach Micheal Burt's team, and it actually says on there, there's Brittany Hall. I see Carrie Robinson, Kelly Eisler. Okay, so these guys are going to be with you if you have any questions throughout the webinar today to assist you in any way that you may need. If there's something that you want to do with me, then these are the people that you can reach out to. And we always extend invitations to go deeper. The purpose of the webinar is to open your mind to possibility. And so I believe the speaking engagements open the mind. I believe the coaching changes the life. Okay, so let me say that again. I believe the speaking opens the mind. Yesterday, I spoke in Houston, Texas, and we had a great audience. But I would tell those people who saw me yesterday, Amanda Beener, that the speaking engagement didn't change their life. The speaking engagement opened their mind. Being personally coached by me will change their life. And there's a big difference between those two things, because you can see something and get excited. The prey drive can be activated, but you don't follow through in it. So if you're already in one of my coaching programs, raise your hand, because I want to see people that are in one of my current coaching programs. Okay, so we got a lot of current clients that are in there, and we want to say thank you for your business. I do believe everybody needs a coach in life, and thank you for letting me be your coach. Now, here's the concept today. We're calling this Profit Powerhouse because it occurs to me, there's a real simple belief I have, is that where there's no top line, there's no bottom line. If I ask you today what profit margin you were operating on in your business, could you tell me? Okay. And what profit margin should you be operating on as it relates to your industry? Okay. And if there's times my business is operated on a healthy profit margin, as much as 41% profit margins. Then there's been times that I've been operating on an 18 to 25% profit margin. And it is the responsibility of the business owner to know what their profit margins are, and to constantly think about how we can produce more profit. How many of you have made money but not kept a lot of that money? See, I coach a lot of real estate agents that build big teams, and guess what I found out, Jimmy Cook? That many of them are not profitable. So they spend a fortune and they have all these team members, but they don't have any money left over at the end of the month. And Jim Rohn called that, there's too much month at the end of the money. There's too much month at the end of the money. See, I like a healthy profit, and I'm going to show you how we do that. So a lot of people are taught grow, 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 grow at the expense of profits. And I like to drive revenue and be profitable. And profit is what you're going to see that we keep over at the end of the month that we can use to grow the business. Okay, so let me just ask a hard question as we get started today. Are you generating enough profit to fuel your purpose? See, a lot of people don't want to talk about the money piece until it comes to fulfilling a purpose. See, part of my purpose is building greatness factories around the country. And guess what I found, Diane Bourne, by building that first greatness factory? It's real expensive. And if there's not a lot of profit to build this real estate, to buy the real estate, to build the greatness factory, then I can't grow the business. So I need the profits to grow the business. Okay. And that's really what we want to do for you today, is we want to help you build the business so that it generates excess cash at the end of every month. Therefore, you have something left over at the end of every single month that you can turn to. Okay. Now, if you're serious about doing this, I want you to put I'm in the chat box. I'm in. If you're serious about doing this, I want you to put in the chat box, I'm in. Okay. Hey man, I'm in. I'm looking for profits. See, look at everybody on here. Where there's no top line, there's no bottom line. Mitch. Okay. Where there's no top line, there's no bottom line, guys. Okay. It's real simple. So we're going to focus on these two things today so we can really, really help you get to a higher frequency. Okay. Now, when I was putting this together, here's the way I want to do this today. It's very tactical. Okay. What I'm going to show you today is very tactical, and it forces you to think about what's called missing structures in the business. These are areas of the business that are just not working like they should as it relates to keeping money, profiting. Okay. So I was a disciple of Covey, Dr. Stephen Covey, and every book Covey wrote, he would come right out in the very beginning and he would say, here's the pain, here's the problem, and here are the solutions. Isn't that a good model? Here's the pain, here's the problem, and here are the solutions. Okay, so let's start off with the pain. The pain is a lack of profitable businesses. Okay, there's 28 million small businesses in the United States. 22 million of those struggle. The average business will only 4% of businesses will ever break $1 million of revenue. Most businesses are operating on around $47,000 a year. So the pain is we have a business, but that business is not profitable, meaning there is little or no excess cash left over at the end of the month after expenses. Okay, and I would consider one of those expenses as paying you, the owner, the creator, the founder. Do you know how many small business owners do not take a paycheck? And do you know how many small business owners just break even? And they call that success. Well, if I just break even, I'm successful. Folks, listen to what I'm telling you. Breaking even is not success. Okay. All right. So the pain is we got too few profitable businesses, meaning that there's very little excess left over at the end of the month after all expenses have been paid. And that would include paying yourself, paying all of your expenses, and even paying your taxes. Okay. And so number two, what is the problem? What is the real problem here? And we coach routinely, let's just say 300 to 500 businesses a month. That's a little over probably 2,000 to 3,000 plus people. Here's the real problem that I see every day. There's not enough top line revenue created through strategic selling and skill. Okay, this is a real problem we got here. There's not enough top line revenue created. Where there's no top line, there's no bottom line. Okay, so the solution to me becomes, it's simple, but it ain't easy. How many of you guys have ever heard that? It's simple, but it ain't easy. The solution really becomes we need new strategies and we need better skills. Okay. Now, I was a basketball coach. Okay. I was a high school basketball coach for a decade of my life. And I would run certain plays. Those plays, Rob Challenger, were based on probability. We would track those plays, and I could tell you which plays work 30% of the time, 50% of the time, 70% of the time, 10% of the time. Okay. And then I would come back, Tyler Erickson, and I would only work the plays that worked based on the numbers. Now, I want you to think of your business like this. Okay. So Jimmy and Sarah run certain plays every day to generate leads. They track those plays to see if it's actually generating leads. Then they see which ones are working and which ones are not working. They throw away the ones that are not working They keep the ones that are working. And if they have enough leads and they're not converting the leads to business, that tells me there is a skill deficiency somewhere. Does everybody see that? Okay. So what if you have 3,000 leads, but you're only converting 5% of those leads? That's a skill problem. You don't have a leads problem. You have a skill problem. Now, here's the good news. We can improve that. If you're hungry, if you're coachable, if you got a teachable spirit. See, I can take Carrie Robinson, and if she's got a hunger to generate revenue for her family, and I give her leads, I can coach her and develop her to where she constantly improves her closing ratios, therefore producing more money for her family. Does everybody see that? So I look at it like this. The people that don't want to sell may not have a skill problem. They got an attitude problem. They got a laziness problem. Okay. They're like, I don't want to prospect. I don't feel like prospecting. I don't want to call people back. I don't want to do this. That's my Tim Story. That's me acting like Tim Story when he talks about all the Hollywood people. Okay. Now, so here's my point. You either got an attitude problem or a skill problem. How many of you have enough leads, but you're not converting the leads like you want to? Raise your hand, please. Okay. How many of you do not have enough leads? And that is the number one problem. Okay. So therefore, we need more strategies. If we don't have enough leads, we need more strategies. If we have enough leads and we're not converting the leads, we need coaching and skill development. Okay, you take Kelly Eisler, who I brought in to run our success school. She's closing about what, $10,000, $15,000 a day in coaching. I had her over here running success school, and I started giving her leads, and I asked her a simple question: do you want to make more money? And she said yes. And I said, okay, I'm going to start giving you leads. Show me that you can close these leads, and I'll keep feeding them to you. So she had a good attitude. Now, Jimmy Boulder, could I coach her and develop her skills and actually take her from 10,000 a day to 20,000 a day in sales? Can everybody see that? Now, let's just do the math, Gina Farrell. If I get her to 20,000 a day in sales, 5 days a week, I'm going to give her a couple of days off. She's doing 100,000 a week. That's 400,000 a month. That's $4.8 million, folks, of revenue from one person. That's $480,000 of commissionable income to her. Okay. Now, if that don't motivate you, I don't know what will motivate you. So here's the deal. With coaching, we can improve her skills, which increases the revenue. Okay. Which increases the profits, because I know exactly what it takes to run our business. Okay. So when we're looking at our profits here, the solutions become very simple. Sylvia, I either need more strategies or better skills. Everybody see that? I want you to write down right now, or type in the chat box which of these two you need, because I like simplifying things, folks. I'm a simple dude. I was a basketball coach. I won 74.7% of the time when I was a coach. I knew exactly what caused me to win. So coaches, I want you guys tracking this, what they say, where they need coaching. Is it in more strategy or is it in better skills? And the good news is I can help you with both of those. Okay. Now, let's give a definition to these two things. Number one, a strategy is a technique or method used to generate new leads and new opportunities for the production of revenue. That's a strategy. So when you're hearing me say strategies, I'm saying, Diane Bourne, what methods are you using every day to generate leads? Okay. And if you say, well, I'm doing this, this, and this, my next question as a coach would be, is that producing enough leads based on your closing ratios to close enough business to generate enough revenue that you have enough top line minus your expenses to have profit left over? Okay. And if the answer to that question from Diane is no, it is not enough leads to close enough deals to hit my numbers. This is a game of probability. Okay. So that is a strategy. How many strategies are you using to generate new opportunity for revenue production? Okay. Now, for all my real estate people here on here, I can't tell you how many times in a week, here's what I hear. We're generating leads, but the agents won't follow up on the leads. Okay, that is an attitude problem. That's a laziness problem. Okay, so if you got leads, but you're not working them, it's attitude. If you got leads, but you're not converting them and you are working them, you got skill. That's a skill problem. So skill, here's how I'm defining skill. It is a demonstrated capacity to communicate. That's a skill. Open conversations, skill. Explain value, skill. Locate ambitions, skill. Convert interest into action. Now, of those skills right here, communication, open conversation, explain value, locate ambitions, convert interest into action. I want you to put in the chat box which one of these you struggle with the most. Okay, is it, man, I'm just not that good at communicating. I can't get people on the phone. My person of interest score is too low. I'm not good at opening the conversation. There's a lot of awkwardness there. I'm not good at locating the ambition. I'm not good at explaining our value, or I'm not converting interest into action. See, I was coaching Brian Neely on my team last night about 10 o'clock at a hotel in Houston. And I said, Brian, do you have a desire to make more money through sales? Yes, I do. All right, I'm going to give you 4 or 5 structures. You tell me where you're struggling. Number one, here, I said, do you make enough phone calls every day? No, I don't. Okay, problem number 1. Do you talk to enough people? No, I don't. Problem number 2. Are you doing a great job of connecting with people, communicating, explaining value? Well, I'm doing okay. I could do better at discovery. Okay, good. Are you doing a good job at converting? Well, I could do better. Okay, good. See, what we've done in one conversation is I said, okay, this is where you could get better, because you got a desire, so you don't have an attitude problem. You want to make more money. Where you're struggling right now is skill development. Okay. Now, this is profit. This is my definitions of profit. It is exchange. So internal profit is exchange that fills your internal bank account. How many of you have done something the last 30, 60, 90 days that it felt good to the internal bank account? And you're like, that was good. Feed your heart, feed your spirit. Know that you're making a difference. That is internal profit. Could you have a bunch of internal profit and still be broke? Yes, you can. Okay. But in an ideal world, we're marrying our internal profit with our external profit, meaning the more people I help, the better I feel, the more money I make. How many of you think that's true? The more people I help, the better I feel about helping them, the more money we make. I actually believe there is a correlation between internal profit and external profit. And external profit is exchange that fills your physical bank account. So you say, man, Coach uses this word exchange a lot. What does he mean? This is my definition of exchange. You're exchanging your skills, your products, your services for another person's problems or their ambitions. That is the exchange that's happening. Okay, so right before this, I was making sales calls. I got off of Zoom. Some of you guys were on there. Every time I coach you, it's coaching me. And I said, you know what? I need to send a few messages out to people. And I said, here's the problem you told me you had. Here's specifically how I can help you solve the problem. Would you like my help with that? Does everybody see how simple that was? Because some of you you make it really complicated, man. I got a problem. You have a solution. Hey, here's what you told me your problem was. Here's what you told me your ambition was. Would you like my help with that? See, John McEnroe, it's a great name. So when I said this, like, would you like my help with this? Right? Michael Rittenhouse, this is simple. Would you like my help with this? Man, you told me the other day that you wanted to do this. I've tried to reach out to you and get your attention, but for some reason, I'm not able to get your attention. I'll take responsibility for that, Dawn O'Neill. If I could help you with this, would you be open to it? Would you like my help with this? That's a closing question. What can the dude say, Karen Maxwell? All it can do, I mean, don't you think the way I said that kind of prompts him to want to get back to me? If you don't get back to me, I'm like, come on, scumbag. You know, at least you could freaking get back to me when I was said that way, right? But I'm giving him a chance to come back and go, you know what? I think I got it covered, or no, I do want your help with that. Okay. So exchange, remember the word exchange. Purpose to profit. I exchange my talent for your problem. I exchange my skill for your ambition. I exchange my product to help you reach your goals. See, I believe in exchange. Okay. The whole Greatness Factory concept is built on exchange. You're going to work here, but you're going to exchange with other people. Okay. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you mean? Ideas, energy, business, leads. That's exchange. Okay. There is an exchange here. Okay. So if you're not exchanging at a high enough level, then that could explain why you're not hitting your sales targets. There's not enough of exchange here. Okay. So I got internal profit. I got external profit, and I got exchange here. Okay. Now, this takes me back to what's called the fundamental relationship. And the fundamental relationship is something that you really need to understand. A lot of my students, I talk about this a lot, but I would tell you, Brittany Hall, that 76% of them have not figured this out yet. And by the way, 83% of all stats are made up. So 76% of people, it's like 10 out of 7 people can't figure this out. Now, when you think about this is a very important relationship. At 46 years old, I have total clarity over this relationship. It is between my primary skill set, which is the activation of prey drive in people, helping people with monetization of their talents, and other people's problems. So I want you to think right now, when you see people really make a lot of money, it's because they have total clarity over their primary skill and the exact problem they are most qualified to solve. Now, listen to what I'm about to tell you. General skill sets make general money. Okay? General skill sets make general money. Specific skill sets make specific money. Okay? Very important concept. The general practitioner makes $150,000 a year, maybe $200,000 a year. The heart surgeon makes $1 million a year. Okay, so I want you to think you are a specialist. You are a stone cold killing machine. You have a unique skill set that I cannot get everywhere. That's why it's so expensive. You can do things that other people can't do. You can deliver results that other people can't deliver. Okay, the people who make the most money typically have unique skill sets. I'm watching this video the other day of Tom Cruise. Okay, and Tom Cruise is doing this stunt. If you guys have seen this, where he's driving this motorcycle off the side of a mountain for this movie, and then he parachutes down. Now, if you're wondering why he makes 40 million a film, that's the reason. Okay, because he does his own stunts, folks, and they know they're going to make 100 million off of him doing those stunts. So your income is in direct proportion to the size of problem you solve. Does everybody see that? Okay. Thank you, Leandra. I didn't know that you were in there. You're in there drawing on my PowerPoint. I didn't know you could do that. Now, you learn something new every day, folks. So when you think about this, if you're making small amounts of money, what does that indicate? Could it indicate that you're solving small problems? Could it indicate that you're not solving enough problems? Could it be that you don't have clarity over the primary skill you have and the problem you want to solve? See, when I first retired, Karen Maxwell, from coaching basketball, Home builders hired me in the recession of '08 because they could not sell a house. They were routinely paying me between $150,000 and $250,000 to motivate their agents to sell houses. Everybody see that? Then banks hired me and paid me $150,000 to $250,000. And then insurance companies hired me and paid me $150,000 to $250,000. And I started asking the question, Kelly, what skill set do I have? What do I do for these people? Now, we've summed all of that up in a new book called Flip the Switch. What I was really doing was activating the prey drive in those people. And when I activated the prey drive and brought selling structures and gave them confidence, guess what they did? They closed more business. And when they closed more business, they'd come back and say, thanks, coach. We need you to go over here to this division and help this group. We need you to do this. So I would stay with banks for 7 or 8 years. They'd say, I want you to work with the financial advisors. Then we want you to work with the mortgage people. Then we want you to work with the treasury department. Then we want you to do this, because guess what? They had big problems. They needed to make more money. Okay. So what is your primary skill? And how can you solve this problem for other people? And until you have clarity on this relationship, you're not going to make a lot of money. It's that simple. Now, here's where revenue creation comes from. Number one, we create revenue by going out into the marketplace, connecting with other people, locating their problems or ambitions, and presenting them with a solution or a method. Okay? We go out into the marketplace. We connect with people. We locate their problems. We present them a solution. We explain our value. We then invite them to take an action. Now, how many of you have ever seen someone who talks to a lot of people but never sells anything? How many of y'all know? How many of you, right? Okay, they talk, and they talk, and they talk, and they talk to people, and they talk to people, and they talk to people. They're conversing. Okay, when I'm talking to people, I am converting people. Okay, I'm in the business of conversion, not talking. Big time people don't have time to talk all day long. What I'm trying to do when I get on the phone with people is locate your problem. So it's like, Liz, what are you trying to do? Joe, what are you trying to do? Brian White, what are you trying to do? Scott, what are you trying to do? Okay, so here's how I say this, Jermaine. Here's what I say. For me to help you and for me to bring my 31 years of experience to help you, I really got one very important question to ask you. What are you trying to do? See how simple that was, Jamie? And guess what I found out, Jamie? Everybody's trying to do something. Hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. Listen how simple the sales question is. Okay, great. Here's what I'm going to recommend for you to do. Then I move into like a doctor mode. And I'm like, Greg, this is exactly what I think you need to do. Now, let me explain my value to you here, Greg. This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. This is what I think we should do. These are other people I've done it for. And Greg, but I can't help you, Greg, until you take action with me. You can watch me on Zooms. You can watch me on YouTube. Okay, but I can't help you till you commit to something. See, I'm going to move you to a point of conversion, and I'm going to say, does this sound good to you? Seems like you want to do this. Okay, does this seem like something you want to do? I may say, Karen, out of everything I shared with you, what piqued your interest the most? Now, then I got to move you to qualifying. I got to qualify on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you serious about this, or are we just talking about this? Because I'm a person of action. Did everybody hear how I said that? Okay, I'm a person of action. So now, are we just talking, or are we serious about doing this? What if I told you, Brian, Charles, that nobody ever asked me those questions? People try to sell me things all day long, and they never ask me discovery questions. Never. They never qualify. They never check my level of commitment. They never engage with people. Now, here's the point. I talked to Rob Challenger. This is a good story, because when I called Rob told me first thing he told me is, I'm only doing this as a favor to one of my buddies. I'm already in a coaching program, so I probably won't sign up for what you got, coach. That was the first thing out of his mouth. Rob, am I right or wrong? Okay. Now, what did I do at that point, Rob? You can unmute yourself right there. What did I do? Because this is very important.
You told me what your value is and who you help.
That's exactly right. So here's what I said. I completely understand. At any given time, I may have 3 or 4 coaches, and I started asking discovery questions. What is that coach specifically coaching you on? What are you trying to do? Guess what we figured out after a 10-minute conversation? I was offering Rob something totally different than what his other coach was offering. Did everybody see that? So he actually could have me and could have them. But what if I'd have just said, okay, no big deal. See, if I call on Gina, and Gina's in real estate, and I say, Gina, Gina says, I'm already working with somebody. Okay, great. I completely understand. What do you love about working with them, Gina? Right? I just sit there and talk to her. I may find out that there's some opening for me. That's called discovery. And people are not doing this. Okay. People are not doing discovery. They just shut it down. Okay. So we explain their value and we invite them to take an action. Okay. This is a very important. Quit talking to people and invite them to take action. Are you interested in this? Does this seem like something you'd be interested in? Are you open to looking at this a different way? Okay. This is how I create revenue every single day. Now, this is the law of diffusion. This is gonna bring you something really powerful. So pay close attention to it. This shows me that if you go out and interact with people, exchange, there's only 2.5% of people who are going to take action the very first time that they see something. Let's call them innovators. Let's call them action takers. They see something one time, they take action on it. 13.5% of the people are going to take action on 1 to 3 touches. They're early adopters, but if you don't follow up, national average right now for real estate agents is 1.8 follow-ups. So you're losing all these people. Okay, you're losing all these people. 34% of people will take action on 3 to 7 touches. That's early majority. 34% of people need to see it 7 to 15 times. That's late majority. 16% of people will never take action. And in the law of diffusion, those are called laggards, but I like to joke and call them losers because they're really never going to do anything. Okay, they're never going to get on anybody's butts. So now, what does this tell me? Let me show you what this tells me. For every 30 people you actually connect with and you present an option to take an action, only 4.8 will take action on what you present the first time, or even the first 1 to 3 times. Okay, now notice what I put in there because I was very specific with my words. If Kelly Eisler talks to 30 people, if she calls 30 people today, it didn't mean she got 30 on the phone. It doesn't mean she presented 30 an option to take an action. But if she called 60 or 80 and she got 30 on the phone and she actually located their ambition, explained the value, invited an action, the law of diffusion tells me only 4.8 are going to sign up with Kelly. So if Kelly's only talking, if she's only making 30 phone calls a day and she don't get but 4 on the phone, 16% of 4 people is a very small number, folks. And so if she makes 1 sale a day, this could indicate why she's making 1 sale a day. So for every 300 people you actually connect with and present an option to, only 52.8% will take action on what you present. Or 52.8, not 8%, 52.8. So the number 1 revenue problem, because where there's no top line, there's no bottom line. You are not working to actually convert enough people. Now, let's look at this from another perspective. Because I finished in Houston, Texas yesterday, and we were having this discussion afterward about, did I like the conversion numbers that I had? And what I was explaining to Brittany Hall, Christian, was that there was only 88 people in the room when I spoke in the afternoon, number 1. Number 2, a high percentage of those people, that was the very first time they had ever seen me. Number 3, some of the people had seen me on YouTube or Facebook, but they'd never seen me in person. So if we do the math, let's just say we close 20 people out of 88, Jimmy Cook, our closing ratio would be right at 23% on the first time I met these people. Okay. Now somebody may go, boy, Jermaine may say, coach, it seems low. And here's what I would say to Jermaine. If you think that's low, get up there and try it. If you can go out there and close 23% of strangers the first time you've ever seen them, see, a lot of people look at that and it's very easy to beat yourself up. Like I was a little disappointed that I didn't close more people, but then we looked at the closing ratios. If we do get 23 people, then that's 23 out of 88 people signed up for something. Okay, so that ain't a bad closing ratio. Would I like it to be 30%? You better believe it. Could I get better? You better believe it. Were there certain things I could do better? You better believe it. But what if I only close 4% of the room? See the difference here? So Karen Maxwell, is that associated with skill? Yes or no? See, being able to convert people is skill. Now, those numbers though, help you go, you know what? I don't think we need to be that upset, because look at the numbers on the law of diffusion. I get in front of 88 people. There's what the numbers tell me. 88 people for 40 minutes. The numbers tell me only 2.5% is going to take action first time they see it. 16% of people need to see it 1 to 3 times. 34% of people need to see it 3 to 7 times. So to produce revenue right here, what do we need to do now? We need to generate leads and we need to follow up with the people who saw me. Does everybody see that? Because we may be able to convert 30 or 40 of those people. And this comes down to how good our salespeople are in conversion. So I see myself as the little flying monkey. I go in and I get people excited. All right. And I get them real excited, Aaron Siegel. And now it's up to my team to come in behind me with skill and actually convert the interest of these people. Now, here's the deal. Telling me I'm great on Instagram, want to take a picture with me, posting a story about Coach Burt and how incredible he is, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. That don't pay my water bill. It certainly don't pay the jet bill. Okay. So to me, it's like, yes, I'll take a picture with you. Yes, I'll be happy to say hi to you. Yes, I'll, give your kid a kiss if that's what you want me to do. But that does not help our revenue. Does everybody understand? Conversion helps the revenue. So to me, it's like, this is where people struggle. How do you freaking generate enough leads? How do you get great at conversion? How do we hit our sales number every day? How do we have enough profit left over to go, you know what, we can grow this thing. We can grow and do this again and again and again. Okay. Now I want to stop here and ask you a question. So Christian Schofield, tell me where you're struggling in this equation. Because you look like a bright dude. You look good. You got a nice office. Tell me where in this cycle you feel like you're struggling the most.
I think we get, it's probably leads. I think we would get more leads, but at the same time, there's always room to grow for skill as well.
Yep. So we're about to get into that. So I'm glad you said that. Okay. Jermaine, I've been calling on you. Where do you think you're struggling in this the most?
Yeah, Coach. I think for me, it's in 2 specific areas. I think number one, it's the lead gen, and the second is actually having a team that can close on the back end. So that follow-up is a critical piece.
Okay, super. And if I had an accent like yours, I'd be a billionaire, not just a little double-digit millionaire.
I appreciate it.
If I had your looks and your accent, there's no ceiling to what I would be able to do. Okay. Now, here's my point. Listen to what he said. I need more leads and I need follow-up and conversion. Raise your hand if that's your problem. I need more leads and I need better follow-up and conversion. So until you get a team of people, now I still work with my sales team every day to close these deals. So don't think that I'm not involved in the sales cycle. I'm in there touching people, tagging people, texting people, following up with people, videoing people. I don't just check out and go, hey, good luck, guys, because I'm going to try to hit that number. Okay. And my number's 25,000 minimum. Goal is 41,667 per day with a $25,000 minimum. Does everybody see that? That's the goal every day. So I got to generate leads. I got to convert those leads. And I got to run this business on a tight profit margin with no wasted expense. So I've got enough money left over at the end of the month to grow. Okay. This is the formula. Now let's go back to our PowerPoint and let's get into how do we do this. Okay. So let's keep going. So here are 4 lead generation strategies that I personally use. And I put mine in here because these could be different for you, but I want you to notice that I have 4 primary strategies for generating profits. Okay, this is really the production of leads. So my number 1 strategy is what we call the showcase. I want you to think of the best thing that you do right now that generates the most leads. Okay, what is your number 1 strategy for generating leads? Mine is getting in front of people. So when Ben Deal, who's one of my clients, he bought a package that included me speaking at one of his events, which is what I did yesterday. He brought 88 fresh people to me. If we convert 20 of those, we've got 20 new clients. But because we have different products and services, there could be people that get in our high net worth group called What's Next. There could be people that come to our couples retreats. There could be people that want to get their kids in our success school. There could be people that want me to personally coach them. So when you give me 88 people, it's not just who do we close that day. It's, okay, now how do we go back and locate their ambition and offer them a product or service to solve a problem for them? So we call that the showcase. What I'm doing right now for you is a showcase. It's me delivering value. Okay, you're giving me your time and energy, and I'm giving you my value. That's a showcase. So I want you to think for your business, what is that? Could be a showcase in front of 6 people. Okay, you're showcasing your talents. That's my number 1 strategy. Number 2, the strategic partnership. So when I was there, Rob, in Houston, Matthew Hyde, who's in our coaching program, said, I want you to meet the founder of our company, NRL Mortgage. And I said, great. Can you give me 15 minutes with him while I'm in Houston tomorrow at the building? He owns a building. He's got 60 mortgage offices around the country. Now, the next thing you know, I got 15 minutes with him. See, that came through one of our current clients. That would be strategy number 3, but it could also lead to a strategic partnership. So when I was speaking at this conference, I'm like, okay, who can I partner with? Well, I could partner with Craig Siegel. I could partner with Ricky Carruth. I could partner with some of the speakers. I could partner with somebody in Houston. See, number 2 for me is we don't need more money. We need more people. The people have the money. So how do we use strategic partnership to do one thing? Get in front of new people. You don't need more money. You need more people. The people have the money. You've heard me say that a million times, but you say, Coach, how do you get in front of people? I do a showcase. I meet people. I follow up. I say, you know what? You and I should do something. So let me give an exact word track here. Craig Siegel was there yesterday. It's out of New York City. I go, Craig, man, I haven't been to New York City in a while. I need to get up to the East Coast. My agent is in New York City. If you ever want me to do something for you in New York City, just let me know, man, and I'll come and do it. He's like, absolutely, Coach, because I deliver value to the audience. He's like, I got a group of 500 people. I want you to come and do something with me. Now, look at what we just did there. We went to an event in Houston. We met 88 new people. From the 88 new people, through one of our current clients, introduces me to the CEO and chairman of the company, who has 60 offices around the country. Okay. I talked to a strategic partner. He has 500 people in his network. So could it be safe to say that in one day we got access to potentially 600 or 700 people through just a few relationships? Would that be possible to say? Yes or no? So if I gave you 600 people, do you think you could find the money somewhere, folks? Okay, but some people, not any of you guys, but some out there are talking to 4 people a day, and they're wondering why they don't have any money left over at the end of the month. Okay, I'm talking to 600 people a day or thousands of people a day, and I've still got to go through that many people to hit my $25,000 goal a day. Everybody see that? So I look at the scale of people I'm going through just to find 10, 15, 20, 30 a day. I'm doing a webinar right now for you. It's 119 people on here. So I got in front of 119 people today. So when you're thinking about this strategy, I got to get your mind open to new possibility. How can I get in front of more people? I've got health coaches that I coach that weren't doing any of these things. They weren't doing showcase events. They're not thinking strategic partnership. Here's what they're thinking. I make one post a day on Facebook. And that's how I generate. And so I would ask them, how many leads do you get from that? Well, I get, one or two. I'm like, one or two. You don't need one or two. You need 100. Based on the law of diffusion, one or two is never going to grow you're never going to make millions of dollars with one or two. So that's just one tactic. It's one strategy. Okay. The third strategy I use a lot is my current clients for referrals. But people you don't get to a better place, they're not going to refer you to anybody else, guys. And number two, do you have other products they can purchase? See, I got couples retreats, kids school. I've got boot camps. I've got special events I do. See, a current client may go, you know what? I want to do this, and this. I got coaching certifications. So when you think about it, the people who are most interested in doing more with you are people that's already doing something with you. Okay. So lead generation strategy number 4 is what I call my feeder systems. This is my top 25. So I've got 25 deep and meaningful relationships that introduce me to new people. They're fighting for me. Okay. So I'm touching typically 3 of those people per day. 3 per day. So let's go through what I'm doing. Every day I'm calling on new people. Every day I am engaging with my current people. Every day I'm following up to convert people. Every day I'm planning something to invite people to in the future. See this activity? Okay, see that activity? There goes Leandra again, drawing on the screen. Okay, so when you think about this, look at the action I take. Now, as a raise of hands, how many of you would say to me, Coach, I don't have enough strategies based on what I just showed you? Okay. See and how many of you would say the strategies you're using ain't working? See, Tony Schwartz wrote a book called The Way We're Working Ain't Working. Dawn O'Neill or PK, do you know how fast I changed the strategy when I was a basketball coach when it didn't work? Literally like that. Listen to what I'm telling you. As my buddy Tim Story says, look at me. Look at me. Okay. If I ran a play 2 times in a game and it didn't work, do you know how fast I changed that play? That's it. I'm done. I'm not running that play again the rest of the night. I watch business people run the same play and it don't work. Okay. Now, how many of you have been guilty of spending money on marketing and advertising that wasn't working, but you kept spending money on marketing and advertising? I've done that. Ain't no telling how many thousands of dollars I've thrown away with marketing companies who didn't give me one lead, who didn't ever produce a customer. And I just kept spending the money over and over and over, or just kept doing this and it's not working. So one of the things I want you to do from today's webinar is have a realization. What I'm doing is not working. Maybe it worked last year. Maybe it worked 2 years ago. It's like mortgage originators that go, man, what I'm doing today ain't working. And I'm still doing the same thing I was doing when everybody was spending all that money. But I'm still doing the same thing, but it ain't working. Could it be that new results requires new behavior? Yes or no? Could it be I can't get a new result with an old preparation? So just like that basketball coach, guys, I got to get down to business and I got to get me some new strategies. Okay. Now, good thing you're here because that's what I coach people on. So this is a true selling system. Look at how I've classified these. So if you say, Coach, how do you produce profit? How did you become a profit powerhouse? I come in every day like this right here, every day. Number 1, what are my greatest opportunities available to me? Number 1, what are the greatest opportunities available to me? Okay, that's the number 1 thing I do every single day. Number 2, who are the biggest relationships who can open doors? We call those blue marlins. Number 3, who are people closest to making a buying decision? That's my red zone. Number 4, who is on my hit list of new money? Who is in my farm club that needs nurturing? Who is in my top 25 relationships that I need to be engaging with? Number 5, what events can I invite people to in the future or create? See, this was created. This webinar today was just a creation. Hey, man, people struggle with profit. Let's help them with profit. Let's show them exactly how we do it. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'll go back to Jermaine there. You wouldn't see 10% of coaching companies have a system like this that actually categorize people into categories, use the CRM appropriately, have an all-out system for generating leads in business. We're generating about 3,000 leads every 90 days, guys. Okay, for the coaching business. So I think any business in America would take 3,000 leads. Okay, these are warm people who are interested in doing something, but there's a true system here. And I wrote about that in a book called Legacy Selling. Okay, so greatest opportunities, level 10s, Blue Marlins, biggest relationships that need nurturing, people close to making a decision, red zone, hit list or new money, farm club, need nurturing. Top 25, feeder systems. The showcase, inviting people to something in the future. Okay, now let's look at where the problems are. Let's look at where the problems are, and then we're going to get into some real profit here. These are the biggest problems I see in businesses I coach every day. I want you to type into the chat box which one of these you struggle with the most. And the coaches on my team, make notes on this, because this is how we can help people the most. Okay, so number 1, no clear lead generation system. It's random. It's confusion, which is randomness in motion. It's like we do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Hey, it ain't working. Number 2, you get people on the phone, but you can't close them. That's skill. Number 3, little or no follow-up. Little or no follow-up. I was looking at a commercial deal last week in Tennessee. I called the commercial agent 3 times, sent 3 emails. My final email said, "Are you dead or alive?" That finally got the guy to call me back when I sent him that message. Number 4, you can't articulate you got great value, but you cannot articulate that value. And number 5, you don't have the confidence and the boldness to convert. Man, if I could give you that one thing, if I could embed this one thing in you, the boldness. See, right before I got on this, I messaged a CEO of probably $100 to $150 million company. And I said, here's the problem you told me you have. Here's exactly how I would solve the problem. Would you like my help with this? All he can do is say no. I got nothing to lose. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nil. Nada. So to me, what I coach people on is I need to teach you the boldness it takes to ask another person to move forward and to have 100% certainty. Man, I can't help you till you commit to something with me. Okay. You read my books? Good. You watch my YouTube? Great. You watch me on Facebook? Super. None of that stuff is going to move the needle for you like being coached by me. Okay. Because I bring 31 years of very specific skills to this equation. I know something that you don't know when it comes to this one thing. Okay. Now I can't cook and I'm geographically illiterate, but I can flat out coach people. All right. Now let's shift to profit here. Here's the profit questions. Number 1, what's the strongest skill you have and the biggest problem you want to tackle? How many of you have heard me talk about we're going into the prison system? I went into the maximum security prison system in the state of Tennessee for 4 years to rehabilitate maximum security offenders. Okay, these are people in maximum security prisons for long periods of time. And my assignment was to go in there and teach them how to get out and be a contributing member of society. And you say, man, that was really hard work. It was hard work. They paid me $450,000 for that job. Okay, 4 years. 4 years, $450,000. Incredibly hard. At the end of 4 years, I go, you know what? This is a big problem. We're spending more money on prisons than we are on education in the United States. This is a never-ending problem. We don't have enough prisons. that can't keep people getting out and staying out of prison. Here's what I come to the conclusion. I don't want to solve this problem. Could I solve it? Could it be very lucrative? Could I make a bunch of money? Yes. This ain't the problem I'm passionate about solving, though. So I'm asking you directly, what is your strongest skill and what problem do you really want to tackle? Question 2, who has written you the biggest check that you enjoyed working with? How many of you have worked with someone that you made a big check, but you hated doing it? Anybody on here? Okay. And you're like, I did it. They paid me a bunch of money to do it, but man, I hated it. See, this is what we're looking for. Internal profit. Man, that was awesome. External profit. Fill my bank account. Question 3. Where is your business highly profitable and it's highly enjoyable? Now, I got a group called What's Next. Rob Challenger's in that group. These are people that commit to $12,500 a year to be in my coaching program. They're high net worth individuals. They're in there with other high net worth individuals. They want to play at a high level. What if I told you that group was a lot of fun for me? How many of you would believe it? How many of you believe that that group, how many of you would believe that that group is actually the lowest maintenance group that I have? So they're a lot of fun to work with. They're low maintenance, right? And it can be highly, see, if we get 50 people in that program at 12.5, that's a $700,000 program a year. It's called What's Next. Okay. So it's fun to coach, can be enjoyable. I enjoy it, can be profitable. See, that's the way my mind thinks. So when I come into the day and I start going, man, who do I want to work with? Right? I want to work with this group because this is a group that's hungry and they're good and they don't nickel and dime you and they don't whine about anything. Like, this is fun. I want you to think of a group you work with right now that you like, man, this is awesome. If I could just work with this group and it could be fun and enjoyable and I can make money, it's highly profitable. Listen to what I'm telling you, and it's highly enjoyable. Think about the least profitable things you do, and it's the least enjoyable. How many of y'all are doing some of those things? Okay. George Farrell, highly profitable, highly enjoyable. Okay. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Highly profitable, highly enjoyable. Now, let me go back to my screen, my correct screen here. And let's put up here, how can you design and redesign this business? A business is designed before there is a business. A poorly designed business always has to be redesigned at some point in the future. Okay? How do we redesign the business? Strongest skill, problem I want to tackle, who writes the largest checks, highly enjoyable and highly profitable, and how can you design and redesign the business around what you love doing with people you love doing it with. Okay. And problems that you are fascinated and motivated by. So don't miss this. Don't fade out on me here. What is a problem that you wake up and you go, you know what? I am fascinated by this. I am motivated by this. I could think about this and work on this all day, every day. Okay. Now, here's my big questions. We got 2 roads here. My buddy Bradley wrote a book called The Hard Way, Lessons I Learned the Hard Way so you don't have to. And I think you got a real clear choice here when it comes to your business. Do you believe your business can be highly enjoyable and highly profitable? Okay, number 1. Number 2, are you ready to learn a real system of actions that produce predictable cash flow and profits? So I like predictable cash flow, recurring cash flow, and I like predictable creative cash flow, which are big hits of cash that you hit, what I call these big licks. Okay. This is okay. This is one thing about it. Do you have enough predictable monthly cash flow? And do you have creative cash flow? And do you have enough profit to invest in assets that produce passive income to you? Okay, is the business profitable enough to take the profits and put into something that you go, you know what? This is incredible, man, because now my passive income is greater than my living expenses. Okay, and I don't have enough time to go into all the real estate that I've purchased, which is about 25 million over the last 5 years. But all of the real estate I have purchased has appreciated in value. Many times it's been incredible. It's been incredible assets that I've either liquidated at some point and had big hits of lots of money, or I am taking the money from the business and building new real estate like the Greatness Factory of Nashville, which can produce as much as 1.8 million a year of money coming in. Not all profit, by the way, but healthy profits if it's creating that much money. Now, imagine if I had one in 50 states, Rob Challenger. Imagine if I had 4 in Houston. Imagine if I had 2 in New York City. Imagine if I had 4 in Tennessee. Okay, so then once we get to this point, now we're multiplying. Now we're multiplying the passive income. Okay, so the real question I got for you today is, are you tired of having anxiety about your profits? And if you are tired of having anxiety about your profits, what can Coach Burt do to really, really help you? Okay, so there's really 2 things I'm going to invite you to do. Okay, and these are specific things that my team and I come up with that said, how do we solve this problem? See, like we go into a laboratory and we go, how do we help people with these problems? What can we do to help people with these problems? Okay, and then we come out, we say, okay, here is a product that can help you with these problems. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you're like, what can I do to do this? So I put together 2 things that can help you. Number 1 is what I'm calling a profit powerhouse accelerator. Okay, now pay close attention to what I'm breaking down here. This is a simple 4-week live coaching series on nothing but the profit generating system I use. Okay, that I wrote about in Legacy Selling, $1 Million Follow-Up, Flip the Switch. For 4 weeks, I'm going to break down these things. Number 1, week 1, we're going to diagnose your current lead generating mechanisms. So we're going to put all your assets on the table. It's going to be a group coaching program. 4 weeks, special series. So we're going to diagnose where you are in relationship to your current strategies. Okay. And we're just going to look at them. We're going to say, look, man, you don't have enough strategies right now. There's confusion over what your best strategy is. We need 4 primary and 2 secondary. So once we put all your strategies on the table, this will be your assignment from week 1. Then we're going to move into you creating 4 primary and 2 secondary strategies that do one thing: lead to revenue, lead to money. Okay. Number 3, we're going to get into the art and science and mastery of discovery, the explanation of value, which is a 6-step process to explain your value in a world-class way. And then we're going to get into conversion. Okay. And on that one, we're going to role play conversion technique to get people to take an action. Because some of you have all these leads, but you freaking just can't close them. And that's got to be frustrating, because it's frustrating to me when people can't close. Number 4, we're going to look at restructuring your entire business so that the business is highly enjoyable and highly profitable. Okay. And I'll show you how I use my house in Florida, how the couples retreats that we do at our house in Florida pay for the house. Okay. Paid for a $3.35 million house that appreciated in value. We did an appraisal last week. It's worth 5.5 million today. So I bought an asset at 3.35. It appraised at 5.5 million. And guess what? The coaching retreats I do in Florida pay for the house. And I'll show you exactly how I do that. Now I'm restructuring the business to be highly enjoyable and highly profitable. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So we're calling this the Profit Powerhouse Accelerator. This is going to begin next week. It's going to be a fee of $147. Okay. Which is a very reasonable price to spend 4 weeks with me coaching you and my team of coaches coaching you. Okay. And my team will post in the chat the link to that. You can get your teams on it. You can get your whole team on it, and get your family on it, and get your kids on it, get your cousins on it. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. So Brittany, if you'll post a link for them to take the Profit Powerhouse Accelerator course. It's a 4-week course with me. It's like going to a masterclass at Harvard on nothing but profits. We're focusing, we're buckling down. Now here's what's going to happen. I suspect your revenue is going to go up. Your leads are going to go up. Your focus on revenue is going to go up. Your attention, because when you pay attention. And that's called psychological demand. When you commit to something and you pay for it, you pay attention to it. So I think what's going to happen is your revenue is going to go boom. You're focused. You're attentive. Okay. Now, so that's option 1. Profit Powerhouse Accelerator. It's an investment of $147 for a 4-week live coaching series with me. Okay. And then some of you are already in the coaching, are in coaching with me. You're in different programs with me. And so we put together a second option for you. And I'm calling this expansion happens in proximity. Now I want you to really look at this offer that I'm making right here. It's a 4-week course on profit acceleration. It's $147 value. I'm going to give you a 2-day boot camp with me at my lodge on purpose to profit. #1 best-selling, all-time best-selling program I've ever done. That's a $1997 value. It's July 11th or 12th. If you can't come to that one, we'll put you in one similar. I'm going to give you 1 year of my coaching program, Monster Producer, which is valued at $3,000 if you went to the website today. And I'm going to give you 1 VIP Monster Nation ticket. That's a VIP ticket to a 3-day Monster Nation conference, September 7th through the 9th. As you guys know, I do it all out. That gets you a private concert, get you private meet and greet the first night, get you front row seating, get you backstage with speakers. Okay. I'm going to do all of this in this particular program right here. 4-week course, 2-day boot camp, 1 year of my coaching, and 1 ticket to my Monster Nation conference. You guys know I've had Rob Luna, I've had Brad Lee, I've had some of the biggest people in the world speaking. This year will be no different in Nashville. And we're doing this package at it's a $10,000 value. We're giving this package today for $29.97. And that is 1 year of coaching, folks. So don't miss that part. Okay. 1 year of coaching, really 2 boot camps at the lodge, the Monster Nation conference plus purpose to profit, or I'll let you choose another boot camp of equal value. And I'm going to give you that 4-week course on the Profit Accelerator. Okay. And that is, we're doing all of that for $29.97. So Brittany Hall on my team will post a link for you to take action. I'm calling this the early adopters, Rob Challenger, the early adopters and the innovators, because those are the people who take action. They don't sit, they don't settle, they don't submit. They're like, I need to be in the game with Coach. I need to get proximity to the players. And as I take questions here in just a second, my team asked me, why did I put Monster Nation in there? You're going to be around big time people doing big time things. And that's really what some of you need. You need to expand your think. You need to see there is no shortage of opportunity. There is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of anything. What there is a shortage of is boldness, creativity, and prey drive. That is the only thing that there is a shortage of. And anytime in my life when I've gotten around big time people, my mind has expanded to a higher frequency. So the Monster Nation conference alone will do that one thing. Okay. So 4 weeks, option 1, option 2, get you the 4 weeks plus the VIP plus the 1 year of coaching program. Now I've got 8 minutes to do Q&A. If anybody has a question for me, I'd love to do a question and answer right now for 8 minutes. Okay. And then if you got questions about the offer, I'd love to take any questions you got if you're thinking about doing it or something you want to do. And our team is on here to help you to get you enrolled in something. I saw some people said upgraded. It's time to upgrade life, isn't it, folks? It's time to upgrade. It's time to upgrade life, man. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of being casual with my potential. Brian White, you with me? I'm tired of being casual with my potential. I'm tired of playing at the small ball, man. I'm tired of not hitting the numbers that I set out for myself. Okay, Tyler Erickson, good question. Where should you start if you're new? Let's see what I got here. Where should you start if you're new? Okay, I'm seeing so many questions here, Kelly. It's hard for me to see all these. Where should you start if you're new? I mean, I think if I was going to get started, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat 1 year of coaching, Monster Nation, spend 2 days with me at the lodge, plus the 4 weeks, man, for $29.97. It's going to be hard to beat that if you can pull that off. Okay, I'm telling you, that's a lot of freaking coaching for under $3,000. A lot. Okay, so that would be a big thing. I'd start there. And if you can't do that, for some reason, start with the 4 weeks for $147. Okay, there you go. Make the investment, man. Bet on yourself. Okay, thanks, Tyler. LaDawn, let's take some questions. LaDawn, start us off. Then I'll get to Nona and Stephanie.
Hey, Coach, it's good to see. It's always good to see you. You fire me up every single time.
Thank you.
A question for you on speaking. So speaking is my primary lead gen, and it's normally in front of audiences that don't know me. My target client are executives within corporate and enterprises. And right now, when I do speak, I get 2 to 3 solid leads that are leading to deals. But the deals are the larger end, right? And they're intro deals for long-term. What would you say is a good range when you're speaking in front of these audiences of what should be a close rate per se? Because I always go for, depending on the room, to get 10%. Is that too low? What would you recommend?
I think 10% is a good number. Now, the more skilled you become, there's a lot of psychology, guys, in making an offer to a group. There's what's called embedding. There's psychology of pre-framing, then actually making an offer. So this is a skill that you can continue to get better at, but you do need the coaching to get better at it. I hired a coach. I hired a neuroscience expert to coach me. I also so I've been coached by some of the best people in the world in how to make an offer, okay, and how to build the value. So like when I showed you that my close ratios were around 23% yesterday, I was the very last speaker. Some of the audience left. Okay. And if we still get 23%, I would take that as a good closing ratio. So just imagine how much more money you can make if you move from 10% to 15%.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you, Coach, so much. I appreciate it.
And there could be a lot of business too. There could be a lot of business too in the follow-up with the people based on the law of diffusion that you're not picking up. See, I want to collect data and then follow up with those people. Very important concept, because let's say Kelly goes back and closes a what's next deal, a couples retreat. See, I can increase that closing number. Maybe we walk out of there with 50 grand. Maybe we walk out of there with 100 grand. It's not because they take the primary offer, because the truth is some of you guys are going to buy the 147, and you should, everybody should. And some of you are going to purchase the $29.97, but then you're going to say, you know what, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And that could increase the lifetime value of your purchase.
Coach,
Okay.
I'm sorry, just one thing on that on speaking. What do you think about, my thought was to bring on some associate strategists that can go out and do speaking engagements for me to scale, to do it broader. What are your thoughts on that?
You could do that, or you could go out and speak and bring on more salespeople to convert the lead.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you.
Yeah, see, I enjoy the speaking. So if I enjoy the speaking, why don't I go speak and generate the leads? And then why don't I train my team to get better at closing? Okay. See that question? All right, Nona, what's your question?
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
So my question is this: with the follow-up being that I'm in real estate, you have so many different CRMs and systems to use. And I'm just wondering if you have a suggestion on one that helps you scale the follow-up. Because I'm like, if you got 200 some people, you can't call all of them every day. Would you suggest a certain system? And also, would you suggest an automatic dialer as well to assist you with calling them?
Well, we use Go High Level. Okay. We use Go High Level, and we nurture a lot. I believe in going 7 to 15 touches with the follow-up. So if you're on my sales team, I want you going 7 to 15 touches. I want you touching 35 to 45 people a day. I see Chip Hayes on here. Chip will tell you from the moment he told me he was interested to the moment he signed up for the coaching, I'm following up with him. I'm trying to answer his questions. I'm trying to help him figure out where he's trying to do, locate his ambition. But this is what I see from being a person that people try to sell me things. They don't go 7 to 15 touches. They go 1 or 2 times and they give up. I'm interested. If I told you I was interested in doing something, now it's up to you to take me across the finish line. And I just don't see that enough. I don't see people go the distance in the follow-up. Now the CRM system can do the automation. CRM can nurture. I can keep it at the top of your mind, but there's nothing going to replace me picking up this phone and calling somebody and locating their ambition and trying to just get them across the finish line. If I was in real estate, I'd walk right out in front of the house and I'd do a video right in front of that house. I'd say, man, you looked at it, you loved it. I know you want to do it. Call me and let's put this deal together.
All right. Thank you.
People are distracted, man. People are distracted. You got to keep their attention. Stephanie Sellers.
Coach, on the 27th, I am doing my first big event with Brock Zeven and Todd Harris. And we are looking at between 50 and 60 people coming to Morrisville for the event. I am looking at having my book that I just got published there. I'm looking at my goal of setting up consulting appointments and getting more speaking engagements. What else do I need to plan on or try to invite people to as my goal?
I think you need to have one primary offer, no more than 2. I don't mind you having like sometimes I have a low ticket, like just then I had 2 offers. I got a 4-week series at 147 to get you in the game. You get the replays, live coaching. All right. And if you're just trying to get started, boom, do that. But if you're already in the game and you want to come to the Monster Nation conference, then you need to get the 1 year of coaching, the 2-day boot camp, the deal, and that's $29.97. So if you see that, I had 2 offers for you to take advantage of. I believe both of them are good. And I want to get as many people as I can in those programs. So you may say, I want my offer to be a strategy session to me, or I want to make an actual offer where people can purchase today. The only other thing I would tell you is if you want to collect data from the group, you want to give them something in exchange of them giving you their information. Okay, because I have a big database, and that database, so when we marketed this to you, we're marketing to 35, 40,000 people. We're marketing on social media to 300,000 or 400,000 people. I'm getting in front of 800 to 900,000 people on my Instagram every week. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to hit large numbers of people, cast that net to pull people in so that we can coach them, right? And if I was doing what you're doing, I'd be doing the exact same thing. So you want to collect their data, you want to make some kind of offer. Okay, but you need to make sure you work through that. Don't just get up there and really practice it, work through it, and take some of the coaching that I've given you. And because the offer is very important to the equation. How many of you seen a speaker and you really liked them, you left and you never did anything with them? And you said that was a good speech. Well, I believe that the speaker can't really help you unless you go deeper with them. So it's one thing to read a person's book. It's another thing to be coached by them. For those of you that have been to my lodge, that have been in my programs, you know there's a big difference between watching me on YouTube. And, a guy came up to me yesterday, said, me and my wife watch you every day on YouTube. And I thought, that's great, man. But congratulations. But it's not going to change your life like being in a room with me or being coached by me over a period of time. And I'm 100% convicted on that. Yes, would you agree? Like it's a big difference in watching it and saying, and actually coming to my lodge and working with me. It's 2 totally different things. Okay. So that's why I have no shame of making an offer to people, because I really don't believe I can help them at the level I could help them if they don't commit to something. Okay. And the word for that is psychological demand. Psychological demand is I commit, I pay, and because I paid, I'm gonna get in there and get better. I'm gonna actually grow and expand. Okay. All right, I've got time for one or two more, and then I've got a phone call with my agent who's trying to get me to write a new book. Okay, and I'm going for a big advance, Aaron Siegel. Okay, I'm asking for a $350,000 advance. How many of you guys think I can get that? Gary Wicker, would you put your money on me? My agent said 250 at first, and I said, come on, man. Come on.
Absolutely. Every day, Coach. Yes, sir.
I'm like 18 books. I said 350 sounds a lot better than 250. I said, and your chunk of it's a lot bigger too at 350. Okay, so go in there and ask for 350 and let them tell you no. All right, any other questions today? Okay, Brittany, have we got some people enrolling? Do you want to say congratulations to some people who are signing up?
Yes, we do. Let me just pull this up so I can read and congratulate you guys. So we have PK, we have Scott, we have George, Kathy, D Powers, Aaron went all the way with the VIP upgrade. So that's exciting. Congratulations, you guys, because like Coach says, you know, when you make the decision, that's where it all comes from. You got to make that decision. And I would say go all in today. And
now, Brittany made a post last night. Her husband, she said she's been working with me for 3 months and her income had tripled. Okay, 3 months with me and her income is triple, folks. Shows up every day, got in the room with me, became one of my certified coaches, and she could tell you all the opportunities. She from that one thing, she's now representing me on a lot of my speaking engagements. Look how fast that happened. Tripled her income, boom, boom, boom. Now she's in the room with some of the biggest people in the world. That could happen for you, but it's not going to happen for you unless you take action on something, okay? So I want to congratulate all the people who are committing, and just get started. If you just get started with 147, just get started with the 4 weeks if you got to do that. But if you want to get in, let's go pro. I'm ready to help some folks.
hey,
Okay?
Coach, can I add one more thing?
Please.
Okay, you guys, I have to tell you because I was in your spot, I did not have the money to invest, but I found a way. And because of that, our income has tripled. So like it was a major leap of faith. And then we got skin in the game. We went all in, and now our life has radically changed in 3 months. So I would just want to encourage you guys, sometimes spending money can feel scary, but it was the biggest blessing of my life that we decided to go all in with Coach. So I just want to really encourage you.
Brittany was with me at a $10 million mansion in Bel Air on Saturday night, doing an event in Bel Air. And I'm sitting there thinking, how did this kid from Woodbury, Tennessee end up in Bel Air, California? Sitting in a room with the girl who's on Extra, the TV show. And I'm sitting there like, what, how in the world did this happen? Like, how did we do this? You know why it happened? Because I'm committed to my future. And I just kept backing it up every day. Okay. So listen, we're available. I got to jump up and do this call, but I want to thank you for showing up today. Focus on profits. Focus on revenue. Focus on getting that business and stimulating your economy. There is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of opportunity. There is no shortage of anything. There is a shortage of creativity and follow-up in what I talked about today. Okay. So if you need anything, reach out to our coaches. I love you. I appreciate you. Everybody needs a coach in life. Thank you guys for showing up and giving me a good hour and a half today. Okay. I look forward to working with everybody who commits. God bless you guys. Thank you.